Well, good morning. This is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. You are looking at the outer man of Brother Peter. The inner man is inside. The inner man this morning is having him a horrendously good time. If you weigh everything in life according to the riches you have, I'm the richest man in the world inside this morning, that I have total peace in my life. Do I have a problem with my outside man? Yes, I do. How long will I have that problem? I don't know, but I do know this. I got a preacher friend that said he asked a 90-year-old man, at what age did you get the body under captivity and was able to control it so you didn't have a problem with it? And the 90-year-old man said, I don't know, I haven't got that old yet. And so if he's 90 and he ain't got that old yet, none of us are ever going to get that old either. This body is a very, very difficult thing to keep in check and to keep in control. You want to keep your body in control, you got to keep your mind in control, you got to keep that thing right there in control. Brother Peter, what's the hardest thing in your life to control? That right there. The Bible said that thing, that tongue, is set on the fires of hell, and who can control it? A man that can control his tongue can control his life, can control his body. I'm sitting right now under a preacher that probably does better controlling his tongue than any man I've ever met in my total life. I've met a lot of people in my life. Very few people have I ever met that could control their tongue. I could name one right off the bat that would probably be the first one that I ever met. His name was Brother Ralph Taylor. I sat under him for about 8 years of my Christian life. I don't think in 8 years, and I don't think in 40 years of knowing the man, that I ever could, ever, in all the conversation we had, all the messages I've heard him preach, I don't believe I've ever heard the man speak a word out of place. I don't believe I've ever, not ever, one time, ever heard that man say one derogatory word at any time. He was a man that knew how to button his lip. And I tell you what, you come near perfection when you can learn how to button your lip. You come near perfection. You say, what about that man? Well, what about that man? That man had peace in his heart, had joy, was satisfied with his happy inside man. The outside world didn't mean much to him at all. He was happy between him and the Lord. He didn't care to amass a great fortune of money. He started a radio station. His mansion in heaven, his repertoire in heaven, his line of converts in heaven is going to be endless. It's going to be like Billy Graham. Billy Graham had an endless line of converts, big bunches all at one time. And his Brother Ralph, his line is going to be a few every day, a few every day. He's still his life, what he started and what he's done is still going on and will go on until eternity is full-fledged and the souls will be being one. We're in chapter 2 of the book of Proverbs. To deliver thee from the harlot. This is a day and a age today, right now, worldwide, where men, listen to me, men have lost their respect for a lady, have lost their respect for a lady. A lady is something pleasant to look at. But if she is not your lady, you have a right to look at her and say that is a pleasant looking lady, even beautiful. But if she's not your lady, you do not have a right to desire to put your hand on her, your arms around her, or have any kind of physical desire toward her any way, shape, or form. This is unrighteousness. Now, righteousness is to say, this is a good-looking lady. And you can say that, and you can be honest about it. But do not be flirtatious about it. Now, flirtatious means you're flirting with that lady. Do not flirt with unrighteousness. Do not flirt with sin. Do not flirt with that which could kill you, wreck your life, wreck your marriage. I've been married 48 years. You think I would fool around and be reckless? No. And this Bible talks about the harlot. Now, the harlot is a lady who has fallen from grace. It is a graceful lady that appears graceful. It is a graceful lady that men will not lust after, but can say she is beautiful like wisdom. Now, we've come to a day where women want to flaunt their bodies. And because they do, and men have this terrible thing up here that think that the more flesh they can see brings a proper thought. It doesn't. It brings an improper thought. Improper thoughts about a woman, when they come and they show you a lot of flesh, and you have these improper thoughts attack you, and they do not belong there. They are unrighteous. I asked the Lord one day, 1972, November, December, January, I'm out on a windowsill, 3 stories high, painting some windows. And my eye is evil. And it's still looking to see how much flesh I can see on a lady driving by in a car. This is Brother Peter speaking honest this morning. And I said to the Lord, I said, Lord, I need help. I'm depraved. All I want to do is look at the flesh of a woman instead of looking at the woman. What do I do about this? And the Lord said to me, Brother Peter, if you will look at her soul and say, I wonder if she died right now, if she'd go to heaven. By the way, that's where my track came from. I wonder if she died right now, would she go to heaven? And if you think that, you could look at a naked woman and say, I wonder if she died right now, she'd go to heaven. And you know what? That righteous thought would cover the nakedness of that woman. You know, Adam and Eve were naked and didn't know it. Why didn't they know it? Because they were totally covered by righteousness. And righteousness, there is no darkness in it. Righteousness has no darkness in it. Pure righteousness has no darkness in it. And so therefore, if you could get your brain right, get your mind right, and think, you would have righteousness. And listen, be delivered, verse 16 said, be delivered from that strange woman and from the stranger which flattereth her with words, which forsake the guide of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the death. And none that go unto her return again, neither take they hold on the path of life. Listen, if you go down that path, and I see men today, even in the church house, who look at a woman up and down with their eyes, and they're continually thinking unrighteous. You cannot have communion with God and be unrighteous.